Howdy there, 6th grade. It's Mr. Hahn coming to you with another very exciting mathematical lesson here. Actually, today we're just going to review Pretest 5A, so you're prepped for your test coming up here. So I am going to share my screen. I'm going to scoot on over to that Pretest, and we are just going to have ourselves a rip-roaring good time here. So if you take out your Pretest, take out your answers. Let's see how you do. Hopefully I can answer any questions you might have. If you have more, please catch me at any time and we will take care of some of that business there and we'll get you going on that. Starting off with problem number 1. Again, this is Pretest 5A. Hopefully I grabbed the right one for you and we're all in good shape here. Question number 1, what is the difference when the sum of 20 and 10 is subtracted from the product of 20 and 10? So we've got a whole bunch of stuff going on here. Let's make sure we know the mathematical words here. Difference is subtracting. So I am subtracting something. What am I subtracting? Well, this says this sum, and sum is adding, is subtracted from. So the sum is being taken away from this product, and product is multiplication. The only one thing we haven't talked in that is the quotient, which is division. We don't have that here, but the difference is of the sum. Here's my sum, so I'm going to add 20 plus 10, and I like to throw that in parentheses because they want me to find that sum first, is subtracted from the product of 20 and 10. And again, I'd throw that in parentheses too because we need to do that. So 20 times 10 is 200. From 200, I am subtracting this sum of 20 plus 10, which is 30. So off to the side here, I take my 20, subtract my 30, and I end up with 170. 170 for an answer for problem number 1. Problem number 2, in a class of 28 students, there are 13 boys. What is the ratio of boys to girls? Now notice, kids, it doesn't tell me the girls, so I'm going to have to do a little bit of figuring here, but I'm going to write down my ratio first. Ratio of boys. First one given has to go on top. Of boys, ratios are in fraction form, to girls. Now we do know that there are 13 boys, so I can put my top number in there, but I don't know how many girls there are. I just know how many total students. Well, if you have 28 total and you have 13 boys, if you do the subtracting of the boys from the total, you will get the girls. So there should be 15 girls. So I end up with my 15 down here. Please be careful. If this can be reduced, it needs to be reduced, but fortunately for us, no reducing required because 13 is a prime number. You can't divide it by anything. So there you go. Problem number 3. Problem number 3. Write the numeral, write the number for 17,105,000. Okay, 17 million. So the 17 has to be in the millions place. Put a comma there. The next group is the hundred thousands place, and it says there's 105,000. And you have to finish off with the ending zeros. 17's in the million, 105 in the thousands, nothing there. So here is your number. 17, 10500. Number 4 says to estimate the product of 87 and 30. And again, we estimate means we make the numbers easy to work with within reason. So I would say this, 87 is awful close to an easy number of 90. 31 is awful close to an easy number of 30. And if we use our hanging out zero issue, we can just multiply by this and you get 2,700. Now, could you make the case for making this 100 times 30? You probably could. I would not mark it wrong probably if you put 3,000, but we like to make it estimate, make it easy, but also make it as close as we can by estimating. Which of these is divisible by 3? If you check your notes, and hopefully you did, you remember that numbers divisible by 3, we have this little rule that we just simply called the sum of the digits. which means you add digits, all three digits together and divide it by 3. And if that can be divided by 3, then the number can be divided by 3. So let's look at this one. I am adding 2 plus 4 plus 3 plus 7. 2 plus 4 is 6, plus 3 is 9, plus 7 is 16. Can you divide 16 by 3? You can't. So this one is not divisible by 3. How about 1632? 1 plus 6 plus 3 plus 2. 1 plus 6 is 7, plus 3 is 10, plus 2 is 12. Can you divide 12 by 3? Yes, you can. This is divisible by 3. And we'll check this one out just for good measure to double check our work. 4 plus 3 is 7. 7 plus 7 is 14. 14 plus 3 is 17. Can you divide 17 by 3? You can't. So this one also is not divisible by 3. All right. Scooching on ahead here. Problem number 6. Changing the improper fraction 12/5 to a mixed number. Remember, fractions are really nothing more than glorified division problems. I divide the bottom into the top. 5 goes into 12 2 whole times. I can't leave remainders with this. That's why I'm making it a mixed number. The 2 is the new top number with 5 as the bottom denominator. So my mixed number is 2 2/5. Problem number 7, what is average? If you look in your notes, to find average, you add all the numbers, then divide by how many numbers you added. So the first thing we have to do is add 37, we add 82, we add 63, we add 58. 7 plus 2 is 9, plus 3 is 12, plus 8 is 20. Carry the 2. 3, 5, 13, 19, 24. And how many numbers did I add together? 1, 2, 3, and 4. 240 divided by 4 looks to me like we're getting 2. Don't forget to bring down the 0, 60. Hopefully my answer for that is 60 would be the average. And then you always want to look at the numbers and say, is that a reasonable number? Sure, because you got a high 80 here, but you also got a low 37, and you got these other numbers that are kind of in the middle. 60 seems to be pretty reasonable. Problem number 8 asks me, what is the denominator? Well, remember the top number is the numerator, and the bottom number, this 12 here, is the denominator. Problem number 9, what is the greatest common factor of 12 and 18? Please don't take any shortcuts here. Best approach, find all the factors of each one of these. 12 is 1, 12, 2, 6, and 3, and 4. 18 is 1 and 18, 2 and 9, 3 and 6. What's the greatest one that they have in common? They got 1s in common, 2s in common, 3s in commons, and they have 6s in common. 6 is your greatest common factor. Problem number 10, a team won 7 of its 12 games. What fraction of the teams did the game? What fractions of the game did the 10 team win? So you want the number of wins over total. So it won 7 games out of a total of 12 games. 7/12 is your total games, your fraction of games won. And then number 11, an average rate of 12 miles per hour. How far could a person ride a bike in 3 hours? Kind of like to draw this one out for you. Here is Mr. Person on their little bicycle. Oh, that's an interesting bike. Okay. They go 12 miles per 1 hour. So in 1 hour, they go 12 miles. This would be a 12. Well, they want 3 hours. So in the second hour, another hour, they will go 12 more miles. And then they went 3 miles, or 3 hours, sorry. They went another 12 miles. And these are all miles. So they went 3 12s together. That person went 36 miles. 36 miles. All right, turn the page. Here we go. We're getting over halfway done. Problem number 12. What number is 2/3 of 12? And as you have been told multiple times, it's kind of a fraction story problem. The word "2 of" means multiply, but we're going to look at it like this. You should draw a rectangle. This rectangle stands for 12. I want the fraction 2/3. The bottom tells me how many equal pieces to cut my rectangle in. Excuse me. If I cut 12 into 3 equal pieces, each piece is worth 4. And the top number tells me how many of those pieces of 4 I want. So I want 2 of these 4, which means I want 8. 2/3 of 12 is 8. Problem number 13. Simplify 2/3 plus, or 2/6 plus 3/6. If you look in your notes, first step is always write them up and down. 2/6 plus 3/6. Denominator stays the same, and you just add the tops together. 2 plus 3 is 5/6. Same thing for problem 14. Subtraction is done the same way. 11/12 minus 4/12. 12 stay on the bottom. Subtract the top. 4 from 7, or 4 from 11 is 7. Look how fast we did that. Problem number 15. 1 minus 3/5. A couple ways we can do this. I think they want you to take out your fraction circles. If you had a whole thing and this circle was cut into fifths and you took 3 of them away, I am removing 1, 2, 3. I could actually erase them. How about that? Would that make your life better? I take away 3 of them. What am I left with? I'm going to get it erased eventually. I am left with 1. Oops. 1 2/5. I mean, just 1 2/5. Just 2/5. No 1 2/5. Just 2/5. Problem 16, another fraction problem. We get 3/8 plus 5/8. Adding them together, you get 8/8. Unfortunately, that would be wrong if you left it there, because remember, the last thing you always do with fractions is to make sure they're simplified, which means either reduce, make them in their simplest form, and since 8/8 is the same as 1, 1 is by far more easy to understand than would be 8/8. So we stick her right there with the number 1 is your answer. Getting close. What percent is 1/2 of a circle? And really all you have to do is pull out your fraction circles. 1/2 on your fraction circle says it is 50% as a fraction. I'm going to guess you probably knew that. You all are pretty smart. Problem number 18. 1/8 plus 1/8 plus 1/8 still gives you 8ths. If you add the tops together, 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3/8, boys and girls. 3/8. Problem number 19. Ooh, we're getting close here. $27.50 divided by 10. Again, remember, this is money, so my answer is going to have to be in money. 10 doesn't go into 2, but 10 does go into 27 twice. That's 20. I subtract, I bring down. 10 goes into 75 7 times, which is 70. I subtract. I can't quit there because I still have another 0 to break down. And 10 goes into 50 5 times. Please understand, if you put 275 down, you will be wrong because it needs to be in money form. So it is $2.75. And last but not least, when we're comparing the fraction 1/2 to 1/4, again, a couple different ways you could do this. You could draw your rectangles and compare. 1/2 looks like this. 1/4 looks like this. And 1/2 is obviously bigger than 1/4, but you probably shouldn't have to do that because we always look at these as compared to 1/2. 1/2 is the same as 1/2 and 1/4 because it only has one of the four. For it to be equal to 1/2, it would have to be 2/4, but it's not. It's less than that. It's only got one of the fourth pieces, so 1/4 has to be smaller than 1/2. Hopefully, 6th grade, that prepped you for the test that is coming up. If you ever have any more questions, please, 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 please don't hesitate to talk to the teacher. Thanks for watching. Have a great